Hey guys, welcome back to another one of my episodes of Sessions with Jess. Today we are talking about why fasting is good for gut health. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content. I'll be bringing you plenty more every Friday. My name is Jess Wilson. I'm a functional nutritionist, a gut health and hormone practitioner, a wellness coach, and I am on a mission to lift the world up and to teach you all of the things that you need to know about your body so that you can take your health into your own hands and get healthy and happy again. So today we're talking about why fasting is good for gut health. We've heard so much out there about intermittent fasting. Is fasting right for you? I actually personally have a 28-day fasting program for women that I've just launched. But we want to make the connection to whether fasting is actually good for gut health or not, because so many of us are struggling with gut health issues. Am I right? Bloating, constipation, diarrhea, discomfort, pain, all of these things that are really confusing us. So today I'm going to touch on 3 different aspects of why fasting can actually be a fantastic tool for healing your gut. Before we do that, I want you to remember that your body is designed for health. And that might seem a little bit far-fetched, particularly if you are not feeling all that healthy, but you have to remember that your body has mechanisms that are designed to bring you back to balance. And sometimes doing less is actually doing more. Sometimes we can be throwing so many pills and potions and foods and solutions at the problem that we're actually just getting worse. And that's where fasting can be a helpful tool. So I want you to remember, obviously consult with your doctor if you're unsure about any medical conditions. This is definitely not intended as medical advice. But this concept of pulling back everything that we're putting in and maybe just allowing the body to do its job is not really that far-fetched when you think about it. So why fasting might be good for your gut? The very first thing that I want to touch on is just sheer overconsumption. You know, as human beings, we were not designed to be eating at regular intervals during the day. We weren't designed to be snacking every 2 or 3 hours. Even the way that our systems are designed, and I'll talk about this in a minute, the body has processes that it needs to go through in order to digest that food. So overconsumption is a really, really, really big leading cause of gut health issues. Your gut is a north to south process. There are so many different things that have to happen in that entire chain for the process to be completed. From the minute you start chewing your food, to digestion of that food, to absorption of your nutrients, to feeding the microbiome, to elimination of waste. It's an entire process that takes time to complete. And when we are continuously overloading the gut, it's not giving it the chance to actually complete that process north to south. Overconsumption overloads the gut. It can overload the gut with toxins, particularly if you are over-consuming highly processed foods. And that means that there is a big toxic buildup of waste in there that is simply not getting the chance to clear out because there's just far too much coming in. So fasting can be a really helpful tool for addressing the issue of overconsumption that can overload the gut. And by abstaining from food for a period of time, we're actually allowing that natural process to complete. The food that we ate a couple of hours ago is actually then going to move through that chain, and you're going to have much better chance of your body being able to digest and absorb and assimilate and use those nutrients before we start putting more stuff in. So fasting can be a really helpful tool for just actually allowing your gut to complete that process and dealing with the overconsumption. We want to let that whole entire chain finish. The second part of why fasting can be super helpful for your gut is from an energy perspective. Every single time we eat, your digestion takes a large amount of energy. It's actually a very, very, very energy-centric process for your body to digest and assimilate food. So if we're regularly putting food into the body and asking it to spend heaps of energy on digestion, that is taking energy away from other things, right? And particularly because digestion happens when we're in a parasympathetic state, a rest and digest state. that means that it's taking energy away from us to go and do things, right? So every single time we eat, we are zapping the body of energy. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. And you go, well, hang on, doesn't food give us energy? Well, yeah, it gives us energy, but we have to allow that process to happen. We have to allow the gut to use a lot of energy to digest and break down and assimilate all of this food before we can then transport it to the cells for us to use as energy. So it's a bit of an energy exchange. Every single time we eat, we are zapping a lot of energy from the body to go and deal with that digestive process, and that energy is energy that is taken away from other things. So when your gut is completely overloaded, when we're over consuming, and when it's expending a large amount of energy on the digestive and elimination process, we can feel really tired and really sluggish. So fasting, or going periods of time without food, allows your gut a chance to A, clear out and deal with that overconsumption and get rid of the excess waste, but B, it frees up energy in your body for other things. It frees up energy for you to go and actually do things. You can then start accessing the energy that's in your cells rather than your body using energy to go and digest your food. So fasting can be a fantastic tool for creating more energy in the body, which is amazing. Okay, the third thing that I want to talk about is something called the migrating motor complex. What is that? That sounds really crazy. The migrating motor complex. Your migrating motor complex, or your MMC, is basically your gut sweeper system. It's your gut's detoxification system. And it's a process that only happens when we have been without food for a period of 3 to 4 hours. So the migrating motor complex is basically like a sweeper system where your gut goes in and cleans itself. It goes in and it contracts to move all of the waste through the gut, to bind all of the toxins, to get all of the waste out. But the MMC, the migrating motor complex, will only kick in if we have gone periods of time without food. If we are not fasting between meals, or if we're eating at 2 regular intervals and that migrating motor complex does not kick in, you're just going to be accumulating toxins and waste in your gut. So fasting can be a really, really beneficial tool, particularly for things like bloating, and if you just feel really toxic and blah in there. Fasting is such a beneficial tool to kick that migrating motor complex, that sweeper system for your gut, back into action. It's fantastic. And then the last thing that's really beneficial in terms of gut health and fasting is your immune system, right? Again, if we are going periods of time without eating, we're actually allowing our immune system in our gut a chance to repair, a chance to fight the bugs that are in there. We're allowing that energy to be used for an immune system component rather than for digestion. So there are numerous studies that have been shown we can actually reset the immune system through practices of intermittent fasting. So I think to kind of round it all out for you, fasting can be hugely beneficial for digestive health, for gut health problems, to resolve things like bloating, bowel regularity, discomfort, wind, all of these different things that we're experiencing, because it allows the process to complete north to south when we're not constantly putting food in. It allows that migrating motor complex to kick in. The gut's own street sweeper detoxification system can actually kick in at that point. It allows more energy for other things because we're not spending time and energy digesting our food, and it allows our immune system a chance to actually activate and start to repair. So those are my benefits for you on why fasting is good for gut health. You guys can head over to my website or my Instagram bio. I have a 28-day fasting program for women if you want to check it out. Otherwise, please hit the like and subscribe button. Join me on my weekly videos. Leave your comments. Let me know how you're finding them. And just look forward to chatting to all of you guys and answering your questions anytime.